Hi future officers, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another important session of CT 360 series in which we cover the most important GA and ESI current affairs. And today I am back with the most important articles from the dates of 24th to 25th of January 2024. Let me tell you that as Gurkira sir is ill basically, so that is why I am taking the today's session. And I really believe that all of you are really happy, healthy and preparing well for upcoming office exams. Okay, so now there is a small request to all of you that please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if I'm audible and visible to you so that we can begin this particular session. So I can see here that yes, I'm audible and visible to you. So good evening Pratul, and I believe that your preparations are really going well. So first of all, let me tell you that what is the agenda of the today's session. So today I am going to discuss first of all a newly launched scheme, that is a scheme for coal lignite gasification projects, and which is basically relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2 of the exam. Then we will be having the topics which are relevant for only phase 1 of the exam. Okay, so it's the good time to start the session, and here is the very first news article that we are going to cover, that the cabinet has recently approved the scheme for promotion of coal lignite gasification projects of government PSUs and the private sector. Okay, so this particular scheme has been recently approved by the Union Cabinet, and guys, let me tell you that this particular scheme basically aims to produce synthetic natural gas, dimethyl ether and ammonium nitrate from the coal. The government of India has given the financial allocation of rupees 8500 crore. Let me tell you that all these points are really very important, and I will be telling you basically that why exactly they are important and how they are related. Okay, for that, first of all, I believe that a question must be popping up in your mind that what exactly the coal gasification is all about. So when I talk about the coal gasification, it is basically a process in which coal is partially oxidated by air, oxygen or steam. So what exactly this is, let me explain you in a better manner, and let me tell you that in just one single minute you will be able to identify that what exactly it all about. Let me tell you that there is a container. This container is called gasifier, and in this gasifier we add coal. In this gasifier we basically add coal, and this coal is exposed to the heat and pressure in this gasifier. Now, when this is being exposed to the heat pressure, a carefully calculated amount of oxygen is released into this particular part. Okay, the carefully controlled amount of oxygen is being released into this, and this basically leads to the burning of the coal. Basically, a portion of the coal will get burned, and that will basically is called the partial oxidation of the coal. Now, what exactly will happen is, now as it was being exposed to the heat and pressure, basically this heat and pressure will break the molecular structure of the coal, and this will lead to a chemical reaction that is being taking place, and it will lead to release of the syngas. I hope that this particular process is very much clear to you. So now basically this syngas, this will also help you to understand that why the government of India has come up with this kind of scheme. Basically, this syngas can be used for creating the fuel, for creating the chemicals, for creating the fertilizers. It can be used basically to create the electricity as well, and for other consumer products. So when I talk about the different byproducts which can be made through this syngas, basically these are synthetic natural gas, dimethyl ether and ammonium nitrate. Now, what was the relevance and what exactly was the need of coming up with such kind of scheme? Let me tell you that this syngas is basically environment friendly. And when I talk about these byproducts like synthetic natural gas, the synthetic natural gas which can be made from this syngas can be used as an alternative of the LPG. When I talk about the dimethyl ether can be used as an alternative in the diesel engines. When I talk about ammonium nitrate, so ammonium nitrate basically is being used as an explosive. Let me tell you guys that the Coal India is the largest consumer of ammonium nitrate, and it uses it as an explosive during the mining processes, and all these things are being imported by India. Now, I think it will be very clear for you that with the launch of this particular scheme, what exactly will happen? These imports will get reduced. and that is what the aim of the government is. And that is why the industries which will be using, the PSUs, the private sector industries which will be using such kind of technology, they will be given grant, and for that we have an allocation of 8500 crore rupees. And this giving of the grant will be under the three categories. What exactly these three categories are, that is a very, very important part. So basically these three categories are, under this the category 1 is basically for the government PSUs, in which we have a total grant of 4050 crore. Only 3 projects will be undertaken, will be supported by providing lump sum grant of rupees 1350 crore, or the 15% of the capital expenditure. I believe now you are basically easy for you to basically link this particular part, that why exactly this scheme is important and how exactly it is going to play its role. Okay, so now this was the category 1, in which only the government PSUs will be undertaken. Now when I talk about the category number 2, the category number 2, both the private sector as well as the government PSUs will be supported, and the financial allocation for the category 2 is 3850 crore. Okay, in which the lump sum grant of rupees 1000 crore or 15% of capital expenditure will be there. So जो भी amount lower होगा, the amount that will be lower among the two will be given to that particular entity. Now when I talk about in this particular part, at least one project will be bid out on a tariff based bidding process, और जो भी criteria होगा in order to identify that entity, basically that will be created in consultation with Niti Aayog. A very important point, guys. I believe that it is really very much clear to you about the category number 1 and category number 2, that category number 1 is only for the government PSUs, category number 2 is basically both for government PSUs and the private sector enterprises. Now when I talk about the category number 3, category number 3 is basically for the demonstration projects, the projects in which the indigenous technology are being used, and for the small scale product based gasification plants. And for this part, the total allocation is being taken as rupees 600 crore and rupees 600 crore or 15% of the capex, whichever is lower, will be given as a lump sum grant to these plants. I believe that this much part is really very much clear to all of you. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box that yes, we have understood about the coal gasification, what exactly was the requirement of coming up with this scheme, and what exactly are the different details that are really important for you to understand about this scheme, as the financial assistance will be given in for the 3 categories, category 1, category 2 and category 3. We have covered all the categories in a detailed manner. Okay, so यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं एक और important चीज, that the grant will be given to the selected entity who will have a minimum capital expenditure of 100 crore, और जो minimum production है उसकी, that should be 1500 normal cubic meter, which is a measure of the gas flow rate. Basically gas flow rate का ये measure है जिससे हम इसको measure करते हैं, and the NM3 per hour, basically it is normal cubic meter per hour. I hope this point is clear. Now there comes a very important point, guys, and that particular point is that this financial assistance will be given in how many installments. So let me tell you that this assistance will be given, it will be paid to the selected entity in 2 equal installments. This point can also be asked in the exam, and with this part we have covered this particular scheme in the detailed manner across which the question can be asked in the exam. I believe that the scheme is very much clear to all of you, and now we are moving towards the next news articles which are relevant for only phase 1 of the exam. And here the very first article is basically on the BCCI awards. Let me tell you guys that BCCI awards are basically are annual awards which are being conferred by BCCI to the Indian cricketers. But let me tell you that this particular award was not being conferred after the COVID-19 pandemic, and that is why for the last 4 years they have given and announced this particular award now. So here you can see that the Paulie Umrigar Award for the best men's international cricketer, it was being given to Shubman Gill for year 2022-2023. I will be only telling you the winners for the 2022-2023 only, and I think this is the most relevant thing that you should remember from the exam point of view. When I talk about the best international cricketer, so for 2022-2023 it is Deepti Sharma. When I talk about best international debut women, then for the 2022-2023 it was Amanjot Kaur. Then for the best international debut men, Basically, Yashasvi Jaiswal was the one who has won this award for 2022-2023. Now, apart from that, there are some other important awards that you must remember from the exam point of view, and these are Farooq Engineer and Ravi Shastri has been given the Colonel C.K. Naidu Lifetime Achievement Award. When we talk about the best performance in the BCCI domestic tournaments, basically it was Saurashtra which has won the award for 2022-2023, and for the best umpire in the domestic cricket, we have Rohan Pandit for 2022-2023. So these are the award winners. Let me tell you that there are some other important awards as well which caters to the Ranji Trophy, Kuch Bihar Trophy. So I have not covered them because I have only covered those awards which can be asked in the exam under the BCCI awards. I hope that these points are very much clear to you. Let's move on to the next important news article, which is on the exercise Desert Night. So whenever the defense exercise is there in the news, what we have to cover? We have to cover first of all that what is the name of the exercise, what are the participating countries, and what is the venue where this exercise was being conducted. If I talk about the exercise Desert Night, it has been conducted between Indian Air Force, French Air Space Force and the United Arab Emirates Air Force. And this was basically conducted over the Arabian Sea. So this was the exercise Desert Night which has been recently taken place. It was an air exercise. And let me tell you, when I talk about the different exercises which is being conducted between India and France, they include Varun, Garud and Shakti. So Varun is basically a naval exercise, Garud is air exercise, and the Shakti is the army exercise. Let me tell you guys that these exercises can be asked in the exam, and that is why you should also remember, because all these exercises are being conducted on a regular basis between India and France. That is why we have covered all of them. Okay? Moving on to the next important part, we have another important exercise, that is exercise Cyclone. And this exercise Cyclone, basically second edition of this exercise was being conducted recently between India and Egypt, and where it was being held, it was held in Anshas in Egypt. Let me tell you that last year this exercise was being conducted in India, and this year it is being conducted in Egypt only. So that is the another important part. Moving on to the next important news article. So basically, Prime Minister has bowed to Jan Nayak Karuri Thakur on his birth centenary. And let me tell you that on the occasion of his birth centenary, he has been conferred with the highest civilian award for India, that is Bharat Ratna. And Bharat Ratna has been given to this person who has also served as a Chief Minister of Bihar for 2 times. And my dear friends, the name of the person, he is also known as the Jan Nayak, and that is why we have also mentioned that particular detail. So Jan Nayak Karuri Thakur has basically become the 49th recipient of the Bharat Ratna. So he's the 49th person who has got this particular part, and he has been given this particular award posthumously. Okay, I hope this point is clear to all of you. Moving on to the next part, guys. Now let's discuss some important days. So International Day of Education. International Day of Education is being celebrated every year on 24th of January. So 24th January को हम celebrate करते हैं International Day of Education, and this year they are celebrating learning for lasting peace. So if in the exam, let me tell you, it has not been officially declared that this is the theme, but if a theme is being asked, then this will be the right answer, that is the learning for lasting peace. And now guys, when I talk about, as per the UNESCO, basically 250 million children and adolescents are out of school and 763 million adults are illiterate according to UNESCO. Apart from that, when we talk about education, we all know that education is a human right. And when I talk about this right to education, it is enshrined in Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which basically calls for that the elementary education is mandatory for all the children. So that is the important day number 1 for the today's session. Now the important day number 2 is the National Girl Child Day, which is celebrated every year in order to create a positive environment that values the girl child in the society. And when I talk about the date on which it is being celebrated, the date on which it is being celebrated is 24th of January. So 24th January ko we have covered, it is International Day of Education, National Girl Child Day, which are being celebrated. Now let's move on to another important day's news article, and that is the National Voters Day. So 14th edition of National Voters Day will be celebrated on 25th of January 2024. That means it is being celebrated on this date, that is the today. That is 25th of January. When I talk about this National Voters Day, it is being celebrated to mark the foundation of the Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India, guys, it was established on 25th of January 1950. I hope this point is clear to you. So basically this organization is celebrating 75 years of its existence. And I hope that this point is very much clear to you. So when I talk about the Election Commission of India, can you guys tell me who is the Chief Election Commissioner at present? Chief Election Commissioner कौन है Election Commission of India का? See guys, your participation is really mandatory for the today's session, and that's how we can make this session more productive. Can anybody tell me in the chat box that who is presently the Chief Election Commissioner of the Election Commission of India? The name of the person is Rajiv Kumar. So Rajiv Kumar is the person. When I talk about the National Voters Day, guys, so National Voters Day, the theme for the National Voters Day for this year is basically nothing like voting, I vote for sure. So that is basically the theme of the National Voters Day. I hope this point is clear to all of you. And on this occasion, basically a short voter awareness film has also been launched, which is My Vote, My Duty, which was produced by Election Commission of India in association with Rajkumar Hirani. I believe that you must be aware about this particular person. Then a commemorative postage stamp has also been launched with the theme of inclusive elections, because we have a parliamentary elections this year as well. I can see here that Raj Prakash Singh and Iftisham has given me the right answer, that Rajiv Kumar is presently serving as the Chief Election Commissioner. Well done guys. So basically this is the important part that we must cover from the exam point of view. Apart from that, some best electoral practices awards were also being given to the state and the district level officers on this occasion of National Voters Day. So with this part, we have covered the National Voters Day in a detail. And now there is a question in my mind which I want to ask you. Can you tell me the name of the person who was robed in by Election Commission of India last year as the national icon for elections? Can you guys tell me the name of that person? Let me tell you that he's also known by the name that is Master Blaster. Now I think it will be very easy for you to understand, to tell me the name of that particular person. The name of the person who was robed in by ESI as the national icon for elections to basically aware the people about the elections. The name of that person is Sachin Tendulkar. Yes, Indian cricketer, former Indian cricketer Sachin Tendulkar. So that's how guys, these extra things can also be asked in the exam. That's why we have to cover these topics in a very detailed manner. Okay. So now we have covered all the news articles for the today's session, and it's the time for you to tell me, to show me that yes, you have retained all the important information. And how you will do that? By giving the right answers to the question that I have brought up here for you. So the very first question is here on the screen. So first question is basically on the scheme, that is the scheme for promotion of coal lignite gasification projects. Here are the 5 statements, and you have to identify the correct combination of the statements, that which of the following statements are correct. So we have discussed all these points in the today's session, and I think it will be very, very easy for you to identify the right answer to this question. So first statement is basically talking about the total outlay of the scheme, that is 8500 crore. That is absolutely right, which is divided into 3 categories for the financial assistance. Absolutely right. Second statement, category 1, up to 3 government PSU projects will receive a lump sum grant of 1350 crore each, which is absolutely right. Third statement is that category 2 includes private sector as well as the government PSU projects. That is absolutely right, with the provision of 3850 crore, where each project will receive a grant of 1000 crore or 15% of the capex. Absolutely right. So third statement is also correct. Moving on to the fourth statement, it says for category 3, minimum capex of rupees 200 crore is required for eligibility. Do you guys agree with this statement? Whether it is right or wrong, please tell me in the chat box. It was 200 crore or 100 crore? Please tell me. It was basically 100 crore. We have just covered this particular part. Now the fifth option is the grant will be paid in 3 equal installments. See guys, I told you the last point during that particular scheme discussion that the installment will be paid in 2 equal installments, and that is why the statement number 5 is also incorrect. So the right answer is option A, that is the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct with respect to this particular scheme. And I believe that आपकी काफी अच्छी practice हुई होगी इस question को attempt करने के बाद, and such kind of questions are being asked in the exam. Let me tell you that as per the recent exam trend in the RBI Grade B officer exam, we have seen that they are even asking the 5 statements questions. That's why we have to practice such kind of questions as well. Okay. Moving on to the next part. So the question is on the National Voters Day, and here is the question. You have to identify the correct answer. Please identify the correct statement with respect to the National Voters Day celebration. So ECI has celebrated 50th year of service. I told you that it has finished 75 years. That is why this first statement is absolutely incorrect. Second statement, the voter awareness film which is produced by ECI was titled Our Vote, Our Future. It was My Vote, My Duty, and that is why statement number B is also incorrect. Third statement is a commemorative postage stamp released on NVD 2024 was themed Inclusive Elections. So guys, can you guys tell me what is the right answer to the question number 2? The right answer is option C. Why? Because this is absolutely right. Inclusive Elections was the name of that commemorative postage stamp which was being launched during this particular celebration. Absolutely right. Iftisham, Hargovind, Preeti, Sonal, all the people have given me the right answer. Well done, guys. So still, if there is a person who has not given the right answer to this question, do not worry, I have another question for you. And the next question is on a very, very easier line. You are just required to tell me the name of the person who has been recently awarded the Bharat Ratna, highest civilian award, which is being given in India, and the name of the person is Karuri Thakur ji. That is option B is the right answer. Absolutely right. I can see all the people with the lightning speed, they are giving me the right answers. Well done, guys. Let's move on to the next question. So agla question is on the exercise cyclone. Exercise cyclone के ऊपर question है अगला. You have to give me the right answer. What is the right answer? Basically, it is asking you the name of the countries between which the exercise was being conducted and the place where it was being conducted. So the name of the country between which it was being conducted is India and Egypt, and where it was being conducted at Anshas, Egypt. So what is the right answer? Option B is the right answer. I can see all the people have given me the right answer. Well done. Now guys, let's move on to the homework question of the previous session. So in the previous session, we have basically covered a very important topic, that is Alliance for Global Good, Gender Equity and Equality, and that was the question which I have asked you and I have given you in the homework. And the right answer to this question is option A, that is statement 1 is the only statement which was correct. And the people who have given me the right answer to this question in the comment section, they are the star performers of the previous session, and here is the whole list of them. Molly Sharma, we have Sahil, we have Parjus Lev, we have Amrit Raj, Amar, Rushinagar, Kingshuk, Tamiz, Anmol, and so many people who have given me the right answer to this particular question, and these are the star performers. And guys, if you also want to be the star performer for this particular session, what you are required to do, I have a homework question for all of you. So please tell me the right answer to this particular question in the comment section, and you will be the next star performer of our session. Okay, so after this session, kindly go to this particular question, try to solve this particular question, which is once again on the same scheme for promotion of coal lignite gasification project. It is a very easy question. It will be very easy for you. Just pause the session and then tell me the right answer in the comment section. And guys, if you are still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of these sessions. जो भी हमारे सेशन की PDF है, you will get it on the Telegram channel. Telegram channel का link you will get in the description of this particular video. Okay, I hope this is clear. And now guys, it's the time for you to ask your queries. If you are having any kind of query, please ask your queries in the chat box and I will be answering your queries. And if you're watching the recording part of the session, guys, do not worry, you can also comment down your queries in the comment section and I will answer your queries. And you are having some other kind of queries, then you can also share your queries at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 814-620-7241. So I believe guys that today's session you must have liked it. You can also give the feedback upon it as well in the comment section, and it is the most important thing for you is to ask your queries. Okay, तो सबसे पहले आपको क्या करना है, आपको मुझे होमवर्क क्वेश्चन का आंसर बताना है कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर, and you are also required to ask your queries in the chat box. And if there are no more queries, guys, you can just post no and I will be concluding this particular session. I'm just waiting for 1 more minute for all of you to ask your queries. See guys, do not be hesitate. Please feel free to ask your queries because they are really required to be resolved. So I can see here that there are no more queries in the chat box. So I think it will be so here we have one query, sir, please आप ये class conduct करवाया करो गुरकीरत sir. Okay, So Iftisham, do not worry about it, and see, every person is basically trying their best, and basically I would say that he is more better than me. Okay, so do not worry. He explains really very clearly, and he is a very nice teacher. So just try to basically get the most out of it. Okay, so I think there are no more queries in the today's session. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Wish you all happy learning. We will be meeting in the next session.